Greetings, YouTube. Welcome back to the channel. There is this lull right now for me as far as my excitement for opening crystals. I mean, I wasn't that excited to begin with to open Paragon crystals because for 300 units apiece, they're just too much of a ripoff. When you talk about trying to get that 7-star, which is ironic because the best luck I have received this year in a crystal, arguably, was my 7-star basic crystal from Monday night, where this 0.32% chance to get a 7-star Hyperion in this crystal I got in my 7-star basic crystal. And I want to say that because it is a level up event right now for Paragon and Valiant players, I believe. And that means that I can take a champion like Hyperion that is brand new and rank him up. I was wanting to take my Hyperion that's SIG 200 now as a 6-star to rank 5, but now it's that whole, especially somebody like Hyperion that doesn't need to be awakened and certainly doesn't need to be a high SIG to be great. Their attack and their health is going to make more of a difference to eventually take them to rank 2 as a 7-star. And obviously, even though the economy of the game, take a shot, is such that it is very difficult to get any 7-star to rank 3 by design unless you go through Necropolis, and if your account's already spent $5,000 to explore it. Other than buying manual tier 4 alpha purchases, which I just don't feel like I can justify right now, especially when they give about 10% of a tier 4 alpha per offer, or you have to spend 9,000 units to get 1.5 tier 4 alpha. It's just not worth it. But eventually, I will take my 7-star Hyperion to rank 2. The reason why I'm not excited about the crystals, though, is that we saw a preview of what they should have called Valiant crystals, but they were the evolved mythic crystals that had a chance for a 7-star Nexus. And that brings us to the second half of today's video, where I shout out my man, Mr. Minnows Minute, who hit me up and said, Prof, using our channel sponsor, Evizone, the best way to send things to me is through Evizone. It keeps them in high definition and gives you up to 10 gigs of space for free, which is 5 times the amount of free space and storage that Dropbox gives people. And if you don't think that makes a difference, you don't run a YouTube channel that partially relies on asking subscribers to hit you up for reaction videos. So he got a 7-star Nexus. It was obviously a very exciting moment, and so he submitted the video, of which I have not watched, of course, until this moment, because the reaction process hinges on my first reaction being your first reaction. And his, his first 3, I tapped to pause and it zoomed in. Thanks, iPhone. Look, Gambit Awakening and another 26 on Wiccan is not really exciting long term. Maybe the Gambit fans are going to say I disagree, but the first 2 options of this were at best mid in my book. But that new juggernaut makes 7-star Nexus the future of the game. Because the 7-star basic pool is now big enough to where you can have somebody that saves up a couple months for 7-star shards and then gets the worst pool for themselves. Maybe they get their 3rd OG Spidey in a row. I saw that happen to somebody this week. And you just kind of feel like you're cursed. And if you only get to open a 7-star maybe once a month, but for some people more like about 6 times a year, not counting whale holidays that they might spend on, they might not, it's just not worth it. But if you had a 7-star Nexus, well, suddenly that changes things. And I do wonder if Kabam is going to say, we love these crystals too, but we want to keep them behind a paywall on whale holidays like Valentine's Day and Spring Cleaning, and ultimately July 4th, Cyber Weekend, Caps Commissary, etc. I also think that this is a reminder that once a crystal is introduced, it will show up again in the gifting event. And I do believe that the Banquet Crystal will have a chance for a 7-star Nexus now in it come December. And because there are so many progressions, this might be the first year that we have 2 different crystals. One for probably Cavalier and below, and then one for Paragon or Thronebreaker maybe and above. Thronebreaker and below would be a tough place to cut off, but there are so many Paragon players now, and they really want people to become Paragon that might be the motivator to get them there. So 7-star Nexus are the future of the game. And he also submitted this screenshot, which is him awakening the 7-star Gambit anyway from his 10 crystals. So he got Juggernaut, didn't awaken Gambit, and then opened 10 of those crystals and got 2 7-stars. Now, is this a first-time awakening of his Black Cat? We will find out momentarily. And, yeah, it is. That's an incredible batch of 10. So Minnow's Minute just absolutely destroyed the RNG here. And that's fantastic. So thank you for the support, sir, and the patience. 7-star Nexus are the future of the game. And this is why. For crystals like this, that you go from thinking I'm getting another 26 on Wiccan, which is fine, but kind of annoying, to getting a new 7-star Juggernaut. If that doesn't show the power of what a 7-star Nexus can do for more options for players, I don't know what does.